and welcome to Deccan Herald. The Election Commission of India has just announced the poll schedule for Bihar. Bihar elections are set to happen in a couple of weeks' time. To discuss this with me, I have two of my colleagues, Sumit Pandey and Shemin Joy. The Election Commissioner, Kumar, has just announced the poll schedule. What I would like to ask you is, Sumit first, what do you think is the main agenda or the approach for parties in Bihar when not any single party is trying or is likely to actually cross the single majority mark?
That has been the case with Bihar. The last time a party got a full majority was in the year 2000 when Lalu Yadav was leading the RJD and they got 124 out of 240 odd seats. With two members from the CPM, they had a clear majority. Now, since 2005, in the last for 20 years, we have seen 5 or 6 elections. The closest any party has got to a single majority is when JDU was 110 plus. But all the parties are contesting elections in alliance. Now, in each alliance, there are 2 major constituents always, which is why any political party is not contesting as many seats as it would help it to cross the halfway mark. So, either ways, in the last 20 years, the house has been created or situation has been created post the elections wherein only the post or pre-poll alliance or the post-poll alliances can create a situation for the government formation.
So the likelihood of any one party crossing the halfway mark
is not there, which is why every political party wants to be the single largest party. They are elbowing out parties outside the alliance and within the alliance. So there is competition within, there is competition outside, because if you are the single largest party, the pre-poll alliance obviously gets a chance, a first shot at the government. But otherwise, if there are realignments, then the single largest party in the house has, generally is entitled to be formed, to be called to form the government, and I think that's what the parties are.
That's an interesting thing. I just want to just push you a bit on that. Is that alliances within themselves are pushing pushing each other? You had mentioned it. Can you just give an example of how this actually works? Is the RJD first claiming it's going to contest every seat and then dial down a bit back? Is that one of the signs?
No, that's see, RJD in the Mahagathbandhan, the dynamics is a little different because RJ is by far a larger, bigger player. But still, they would want to emerge as a single largest party amongst all the parties, bigger than the BJP, bigger than JD.
JD, okay.
Okay, it's so what I'm saying, it's not just within the alliance, it is outside the alliance, this jostling. Now, within the BJP and the ND alliance, the jostling is within the between the BJP and the JD. Remember that all the elections since 2005, JDU was the major player. In 2020, there was a situation created because of the LJP, which hurt Nitish Kumar, that BJP emerged as a single largest party within the ND.
We'll have to let Shemin, if I come to you now, can you throw a bit light on how the Mahagathbandhan is working? What is its state? What has changed for the Mahagathbandhan from 2020, where it had a narrow defeat, and where does it stand in 2025?
See, Mahagathbandhan feels that they have an upper hand. Right now, from the ground, we don't know because the campaign has not picked up. Mahagathbandhan, or the India Alliance, as we call it now, are working on a campaign plan which attacks Nitish Kumar's governance, 20 years of governments, even though they were together for a couple of years in between. They are attacking Nitish Kumar. They are trying to tell the electorate that it's not Nitish Kumar who is the Sushashan Babu who attracts a lot of votes for the NDA. He is not governing the Bihar right now. It's the BJP which is holding the fort now. That will be one of the campaign plans for them. Another will be how Bihar fared badly according to them on the job front, on handling price rise, handling crime, the law and order situation and all. So it will be an interesting battle for Mahagathbandhan, but we have to see how all things come into a particular combination to see how it comes out.
What would you say about the equation between the RJD and the Congress at the moment?
Right now, both Congress and RJD are playing like wait and watch game. They are RJD wants to contest as many seats as it wants to, even though they may be fighting a little less than 144, which they contested last time because of the entry of a couple of parties like VIP.
Okay.
Then
They also have to accommodate the left.
left already left is part of the alliance. Then CPI ML is asking for a number of seats, more seats. At the same time, RJD also knows that Congress is not in a better position, even though Congress says that after the Voter Adhikar Yatra led by Rahul Gandhi, they have better position themselves. But last time when we see that when Congress contested 70 seats, it only won 19. Even though Congress is arguing that they were given the losing seats, but still Congress is a weakling. Many say that Congress is a weakling. Congress is trying to at least maintain, get that 70s, if not 70, they should get 55, 60 seats. What we are hearing is that in some informal talks, Congress was offered 45 seats, 50 seats. We don't have a confirmation on that, but both of them are on a one-upmanship just to increase their influence in the coalition.
So, if I would come to you, since 2014 especially, since Modi has come to the center, we have seen the BJP's juggernaut. State after state in the Hindi heartland and many others as well, the BJP has established its presence in states where it earlier was not there. It has established a very strong presence. Bihar seems to be a citadel it has not been able to get into.
I think they have been able to establish their presence, but despite that, they have not been able to dominate the alliance and have a chief minister. So in 2020, they were, in terms of vote share and number of seats, by far the much bigger alliance partner than the JDU. JDU, as compared to 43 JDUs, they had 74 seats, 72, 74 seats. In terms of vote share, they were ahead. But the problem in Bihar is typical, because Nitish Kumar as a factor is the balancing, it plays the balancing act. Now, whichever ways he tilts, he shifts the balance of power to that side. In 2020, when BJP was formulating the government formation, obviously it would have wanted its chief minister. But then once you do that, then you also risk its implications in the national politics, where there are 40 seats up for grabs.
Yeah.
And you need that 13-14% votes of Nitish Kumar to do well in the Lok Sabha elections also. Imagine this time 2024, if BJP wouldn't have got as many seats, they would have been, they got 240, they would have been 220. It would have been far difficult for the party to form the government at the center. So I think Nitish Kumar remains a factor, which is why for the BJP, the challenge has been always, it is one state, in every state where they were even minor partners, from say Goa to Odisha, many states, they've emerged, in Maharashtra, they've emerged as a bigger partner and almost subsumed the regional parties who were earlier in alliance with them. That's not the case in Bihar because of the Nitish Kumar factor. Because Nitish Kumar brings in a chunk of the non-Yadav, backward and Mahadalit votes to the kitty. Okay, and now this 13-14% votes, if it adds to BJP's 20% upper caste, it gives an advantage to the NDA. If that goes to the RJD, it adds to the Muslim Yadav of the RJD, it gives an advantage to the India alliance. That's why BJP has found it very difficult to deal with Nitish Kumar. This time around, it would be interesting to see what happens post-poll.
Okay. Shaman, what is working for the Congress in Bihar this time? They feel upbeat, as you had mentioned it, but what is your reading about it? Has Rahul Gandhi's Adhikar Yatra made a difference? Have they been able to sustain that momentum?
See, after Congress lost power in Bihar, it has always been a marginal player. So if you see the numbers of seats it won, the vote share it won from 2000 onwards, it's not very huge, or it was never a decisive thing where they can play the kingmaker role. Like last 20 years we have seen. They have always, at least in the last 25 years, they have piggybacked on RJD. This time, on the ground, there is a little bit of enthusiasm among the Congress cadre, especially after Rahul Gandhi's Voter Adhikar Yatra, in which Tejashwi, Yadav and other ally leaders also participated. That is exactly why Congress is still in the seat negotiations and all. Earlier, we were told that the seat arrangement will be announced a little earlier. I mean, like not at the doorstep of the elections. But this time also we have not seen such a, I mean, urgency in the India bloc to announce the seats, or it is still in a flux situation. Maybe with the announcement of this election schedule, it is about to gather pace. Congress is this time what they are looking at is it may not be the number of seats they are contesting. They may not be contesting 70 seats, but in whichever number, say 50, 55 or 60, what they want is that they want more winnable seats. Last time, what?
So basically improve the strike rate.
Improve the strike rate, improve their bargaining power. So, I mean, because they know that this is a chance. I mean, like in 2020 also, they were on the brink. The Mahagathbandhan was on the brink of attaining power, forming the government.
Yes.
Everybody blames Congress for not happening. So this time Congress is a little cautious. They want winnable seats. They don't want the RJD to dump the seats which are unlikely to win.
Okay, and just last two questions. What is your how do you see the smaller parties in both sides, both the ruling coalition and the opposition? What do you think is the role the smaller parties are going to play this?
See, one thing about Congress is that the RJD would want Congress to play the role it played in Jharkhand in bringing to the table the urban seats, the upper caste urban seats, which generally go to the BJP. So imagine in Jharkhand, if Congress would have slumped as they have done in Bihar, JMM wouldn't have been able to form the last two governments.
Yeah.
So they want them to bring something to the table,
Okay.
That's the least the alliance partners expect from the Congress party, being the major player. But at the same point in time, Congress also helps to consolidate the anti-BJP votes. That's a critical factor which these parties cannot ignore. As far as the smaller parties are concerned, I think there are two X factors. One, smaller parties, they play their role, they align with whichever way the wind is blowing. They are trying to align themselves to sustain themselves and also to keep the interest of their community in mind.
Is the LJP fighting under the
yeah, they will. Last time around they did not, but this time they will. So Manjhi's party, Mr. Paswan's party, they are all there. They're trying to consolidate that anti-Yadav, anti-Muslim, backward Dalit votes towards the NDA. But I think the critical factor, X factors would be two, I think. How well the CPI-ML is able to consolidate and help the other parties. Imagine last time their strike rate was phenomenal, 19 seats and they won 11 or 12 seats out of 19. That was very good. I think they want to get more seats this time. But again, their problem is that these parties, CPI-ML and all, are confined to southern Bihar. If you do very well in one part of the state and get routed in the other part, that also doesn't help the alliance. So that's one thing that they look at. The other is what is going to be the impact of Prashant Kishor's party. Now, if one were to look at it on the face of it, he's trying to attract the youth, especially the upper caste, middle class voters, which may be a little wary of Nitish Kumar's 20 years of rule and maybe looking at various other options. But we'll have to see in Bihar's cluttered polity exactly the sort of candidates Prashant Kishor gives. Because ultimately, when it boils down to voting, it will be a bipolar polity. Under those circumstances, the individual candidates who don't get tickets from RJD and the NDA,
the
disgruntled vote, if they are strong and they are picked up by Prashant Kishor, which are the candidates picked up, which caste or community they belong to, how strong are they, and in a particular constituency, whether they hurt the RJD alliance or the BJP alliance, I think that's going to be important.
I was going to ask, what is your take on Prashant Kishor? He's been campaigning, consistently for quite some time there now. What is your reading about the impact he would have? It might be too early to say, but
interesting thing is that if you ask the BJP NDA alliance, they will say Prashant Kishor is going to hurt RJD and others. If you ask RJD leaders, they will say the BJP will be routed, the JD will be routed. Kishor is taking JDU's votes or BJP's votes. So then there is also another argument that Kishor peaked a little too early. So again, like you said, on the ground we don't know, but he has attracted a lot of attention among youth. That is a fact. So whether he gets 10 seats, 15 seats, 20 seats, whether he will be a kingmaker.
I think numbers is a bit too early to even
Bit
say.
too early
but
to
it's
say.
safe to assume that both sides believe that he will be a factor in cutting the other side substantially.
Yeah.
That's a good note to end the conversation on. Now, for more election related news on Bihar and politics in general, stay tuned to DeccanHerald.com.